Hi, Gene Burnett from GeneBurnett.com. You know, I did a video a little while ago where I was talking about vary your practice grooves. Like, grooves are good, but they're also really good to vary, you know, because we can get too comfortable. We can get complacent, or we can just get in a rut. Any training exercise, any drill that you do in martial arts or even creatively has value in that you focus on a particular aspect of your art and really drill in, focus in on that. The downside is that the others are not being practiced. So, you know, if you're doing things a certain way, like a certain speed or a certain intensity, I suggested in that video that you vary that. Like if you're always doing the form at a certain speed, speed it up, slow it down. Vary your practice grooves, try different angles on your Tai Chi or the art that you do, and that can help make you more well-rounded. But I also want to say that grooves can be really good and really supportive of your life. And I think that if you vary all of the grooves in your life, I think that actually there's a diminishing return from doing that. For instance, you know, you've seen those stress tests that people will have in magazines or something, where they'll say, you know, has this happened to you? And they're stressful events in life, like divorce and changing jobs and moving to a different city and that kind of stuff. And the more of these things that you have in your life, you know, the shorter your life will be. Like they'll say, deduct 2 years for this and deduct. So, what are those things? You know, like a divorce, changing jobs, getting fired, moving to a new city, death of a family member, a serious illness. All those things are disruptive to your routines, to your grooves. We need our grooves. We need our routines that support our lives. I think the key, at least for me, has been to really feel into which grooves are kind of essential to me and are support the foundation of my life, and which grooves are more peripheral, which grooves are less essential. Those are the ones I tend to vary. But I realize that I've got a lot of routines and grooves in my life that really support me in living the kind of life I want to live. My life is very sturdy and very strong in certain ways, but it's really fragile in others. Just like I suspect you, dear viewer, or just about anybody in life. So I think if you vary the grooves that are really key, essential, foundational routines in your life, you might have the results might not be good. So I've decided that the most important thing is to pick which grooves to vary and which grooves to not vary. I'm a creature of habit in a lot of ways. I tend to eat similar things. I don't vary my diet a lot. My diet routine is actually pretty good for me. I do not like to travel very much. Traveling is stressful on myself and my body. If I have to do it, if I'm forced to do it, I will adapt as best I can. I'm not a big whiner about it. I do it, and I do my best with it. But generally, I don't travel that much. I live in this little tourist mountain town in Oregon, and I go out to the coast every year or two. I occasionally do a little road trip with a buddy of mine to go see a comedy show. We went to see Bill Burr, I think it was last year or the year before, down in Reno. We're going to go see Norm Macdonald later this summer down in San Jose, but those are rare trips. I don't do trips that well. I like to stay close to home, and I like to keep my physical routine pretty. It's a pretty small world for me. I don't I don't have that curiosity about what's over that hill and what's over there. I do go out on day trips and excursions with my wife Samara. We do hiking and a little bit of local travel, but generally I'm just not that much of a traveler. And I don't vary my diet that much. I don't vary my sleep patterns too much. I've got a kind of a way that works for me. And those things really support kind of the foundation and heart of my life. If I start messing with those too much, it starts to affect all the other stuff. Creatively, I vary things all the time. I've got all kinds of different ideas and different ways of doing things. Martially, I'm always changing my practice, and if this gets comfortable, I do it longer. If this gets comfortable, I do it faster. If it's small frame gets comfortable, I do it large frame. If large frame gets comfortable, I do small frame. I'm always trying to find new angles on Tai Chi, on unforced balance. Certainly in relationship, I don't have to have set grooves with my friends and my wife, you know, that we have to do things at a certain time or a certain way. Not at all. I vary those grooves quite a bit. I like to vary grooves. It's really great. But I also really have learned to recognize which grooves are more foundational and more stressful to vary for me. And I can't vary all my grooves all the time. I just can't do it. I'm not that flexible. So I pick and choose which grooves to vary and mess around with, and which I don't mess with. And for me, that's worked really well. So it's something you might want to experiment or try in your life. You know, you might notice that varying certain grooves is not very good for you. You don't get stronger. You don't get more well-rounded. You just get stressed out. But don't let that be an excuse to vary no grooves. Vary the other ones, but don't let that be mean that you have to vary all of them. People will say constantly, you know, don't stay in your comfort zone. And I'm like, no, comfort zones are good. We are creatures of routine for a reason. Routines support our lives. Animals have routines, man. They go to certain watering holes and do certain things at certain times. Routines are steadying and good for life. The question is, which ones do you want to vary? Don't vary all of them, but don't vary none of them. What do you know? Balance, once again, becomes important. So I think it's important to vary them, but don't vary all of them. It's too stressful. That would be my but of course, if you varied all of them, that would be your routine. So maybe there's a way to do it. But for me, I have to, you know, I look at my grooves constantly, and I'm always checking them out. And I'm like, I've noticed that certain ones are very rich and productive for me to vary, and other ones not so much. So if you like this kind of thing, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have a link below if you'd like to give me a donation, large or small, to help support me doing what I'm doing. There's no ads on this channel. I do nature videos, Tai Chi videos, music videos, lots of music videos, and maybe the occasional stab at humor. And also I have a website, geneburnett.com, with more info on me and the stuff that I do. So thanks for watching.